Joined by Chris after a defeat to Redditch. Just firstly, give me your thoughts on the performance today.
We came into the game today with 12 players, loads and loads of injuries, a few people away, and of the 12 there was a couple, 2, 3 just not fully fit, but just putting their bodies on the line today just to make sure that we could get a team out. So in terms of the work rate, obviously we've changed how we play today because we just knew we needed to conserve energy. We weren't going to be able to go in a full press game or play Redditch in a way that we'd have liked to have played them, in terms of sort of taking them on, having a good passing game. They're a good footballing team. We like to play football. It just wasn't going to be something that was going to be in our wheelhouse today. So it was really about being compact, being organised, being resolute. Can we limit chances? Stopping shots and crosses into the box, dealing with the first and seconds. Basics basically. And particularly after last week, what we were looking for was a real response, because that was nowhere near where we needed to be last week. More in terms of the mental side of things. I think mentally we were so far off of it last week, it just filtered onto the pitch. So today was like night and day. That was it's never nice losing, but that was a much easier one to take, just purely because of the work rate and the application that the girls showed. And 4-0, but the fourth goal was really unfortunate. It's a grass pitch. Darcy's just unfortunately slipped as she's kicked the ball. So, okay, 4-0, but, Redditch obviously deserved winners. We gave it our best shot with what we had, but we were just, really, really threadbare today. So, about as good as we could expect, but the attitude and application was spot on.
Yeah, you filtered it nicely into the next question, really. The major positives of this today, you obviously worked really hard.
Yeah.
I know the scoreline flatters a little bit, obviously, whatever, but, you just worked incredibly hard. The players listened to the instructions, which is a monumental response compared to last week.
Yeah, well, last week they just completely, game plan went out the window. It was like everything that we kind of said was ignored. All the set piece setups and everything like that was ignored. Today was completely different, and that just goes to show, if you listen and if you're a bit more vocal and you give each other a lot more sort of information on the pitch, you can be in games for longer. We were in that game for a long period. I think it was about 25 minutes when they got the first goal. You could feel the pressure was building, but I think it just came from us at that point. The first 2 goals in the first half was about midfield stepping out of shape, and we were just getting caught out. And they've got some very intelligent movement across the front line. So we identified that at half time. They didn't really get that in the second half. Like I say, the fourth goal was a bit fortuitous. Nice goal for the third goal, but again I think we've just got caught following into the box and not watching the edge. But it was a nice finish in that respect. But listening to instructions, applying a lot better. But look, Redditch are a good team as well. You've got to remember they're pushing for a title. There's an expectation on them, if not this season, next season, to go up. We've reacted really well this week.
And just moving on nicely into the next, obviously you've got a week's break now before you play Redditch Borough again, and then into the final 3 games. So what sort of can you take from this and build it into the next?
Well, one of the good things about today is we've had a really good first-hand look at Redditch, and they've had a full squad. I think one of their players was ill before kick-off, but full squad. They've put everybody out there. Had a really good look at how they move the ball around, how they like to play. So some really good opportunities there, set pieces as well. So we've had a really good first-hand look. Obviously, we will have, fingers crossed, as long as the physio works as magic, we should have at least 4 or 5 back, and that will make a massive difference to us in terms of what we can do. It's on a 4G pitch. So we'll be in a position hopefully where we can give, if we can apply the same work rate and dedication and application there that we've done today, but in 2 weeks' time, and add the quality. But we know we can. We've produced a number of performances against top teams where we've played really, really well. We've been massively competitive in games, so we know we've got that in our locker, and that's what we'll be looking for. We've got 4 games left. All against tough opposition, all against teams that it will be a shock if they drop points against us. So the pressure's completely off. We're very much planning ahead of next season, and we're gonna make this club really solid. We're gonna make it a really attractive place to come and play your football. And there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that we're doing to kind of do that. So the focus for us is on finishing the season strong. making sure that the performances are what we would expect, enjoying yourselves as much as you possibly can, and just be competitive in every single game. So that would be starting in a couple of weeks' time, and hopefully we'll give a really good showing of ourselves.